What's going on, YouTube, and welcome to Goal Line Hockey. It's Kevin Forte, and today, I did not want to talk about this because this is something that really shouldn't be an issue. But the Anaheim Ducks are in a contract dispute with rising forward superstar Trevor Zegras. This saga has gone on all summer. Pat Verbeek, the next GM of the Anaheim Ducks, I was so excited when they hired him. I thought that was a great fit. Coming over from Detroit under the Steve Yzerman umbrella, I thought that would be a perfect match for the Anaheim Ducks to move away from the Bob Murray style and kind of moving forward into a more concrete team that stayed away from all those veteran coaches and, really moving forward. And it looked like things were going in the right direction. But this one really concerns me as a Ducks fan, because I don't understand why this is. First of all, the fact it's being reported, super concerning, because now this is in the public eye that the Ducks have lowballed one of their superstars. And not only did they lowball him, but basically, not only did they embarrass themselves, the management team, they embarrassed Trevor Zegras here. And I just hope things don't get personal to the point where we end up seeing a trade. Now, I'm not going to sit here with a clickbaity title and tell you guys that Trevor Zegras is getting traded. I've seen plenty of those here online. We're not going to sit here and do that quite yet. But I can tell you right now, there is genuine reason for concern for the Anaheim Ducks and re-signing Trevor Zegras, and we're going to discuss that today. So, the other day, we were hearing stuff about Trevor Zegras and what's going on with his contract. The Ducks have $16 million in cap space. It's not like they're cap strapped. And you would think that you save all that cap space for players like Trevor Zegras and Jamie Drysdale, which, mind you, everybody has Trevor Zegras here, but, Jamie Drysdale isn't signed either. So your two best cornerstone players are unsigned. And what bothers me about this so much isn't necessarily that they're negotiating, because this is negotiations. That's how that works. You're going to lowball him. You're going to highball yourself as a player. But the problem is the fact that it got out is a really bad look here for Pat Verbeek and the Ducks management. Because what this inevitably is going to do is now create this tire fire where teams are kind of snooping around. They're going to circle around like sharks and just follow the situation and just see what's going on. How are things going, And just really creating a lot of tension here that is really unwarranted and unnecessary. Now, what also concerns me here is if they're having these talks now, if they're talking about contracts like this, where we're talking about $3 or $4 million lowball contracts in September, what were they doing all summer? Where was Pat Verbeek this summer negotiating with Trevor Zegras? Now, this is all speculation, of course, but if I'm the Anaheim Ducks, I'm thinking we need to negotiate as soon as the draft is over. As we start to get into free agency, do our free agency stuff, we need to focus on this because Trevor Zegras is a priority to this franchise. The fact, and those lowball offers are something you hear in the beginning of August, late July, right? When you're starting negotiations. This sounds like early negotiation talk. And if they're still doing lowballing deals like this now in September, as we're going into as we're in training camp, this is unacceptable. And I don't know where this falls, if it is Pat Verbeek or maybe the Ducks side. Maybe it is Zegras. Maybe Zegras' side said, listen, we'll talk to you in the fall. We're going to enjoy the summer. And if that was the case, then it's not on Pat Verbeek. And I will speculate on that. But if I'm Pat Verbeek, I'd almost be like, no, we're not waiting till the fall. We want to get this done now so this doesn't happen. And now it has. So ultimately, this falls at the feet of Pat Verbeek. Whether Zegras wanted to talk negotiations or not, that still falls on your GM. That is the GM's job to find a way to get it done. And the lack of competence here does have me concerned about where things are going here. And again, not only do you have a cornerstone piece up front in Trevor Zegras unsigned as an RFA, you also have a 10.2 here contract with Jamie Drysdale, who is another top 5 draft pick of the Anaheim Ducks, who is a franchise player as well for this team. Guys, this is not a good look here for the Ducks. And we haven't heard much about Jamie Drysdale and the contract situation there. But, someone said the other day, the Chicago Blackhawks are paying Nick Foligno $3 million for a contract. Or 3.5, something like that. To get to the cap floor, yes. But they're still paying that much. Corey Perry, similar thing. So you're telling me that Trevor Zegras is worth the amount of those players? That is a huge disrespect there by Pat Verbeek and the management team in Anaheim. Now, this is the article I heard from NHL Trade Rumors. They said there have been reports of what the Anaheim Ducks are offering Trevor Zegras on his next contract, and a clear reason why he hasn't signed yet. According to Renaud Lavoie, the Ducks are only offering Zegras in the $3 to $4 million AAV range, likely on a bridge deal. Fine. With the talent level of Zegras and his role on the team right now, it is obvious why the sides are so far apart. It's a dangerous game that the Ducks seem to be playing with their top talent, as they have over $16 million in cap space to work with this season and can easily offer a bit more to their star. And this is from Big Head Hockey. There are only 6 forwards in the NHL over the past 5 years with as many or more points than Zegras at his current age. Andrei Svechnikov, Jack Hughes, Tim Stutzla, Brady Tkachuk, Austin Matthews, and Elias Pettersson. And their contracts all together combining to average around $7.5 million AAV. So where's the money here for Zegras? Because all his comparables, Elias Pettersson, Jack Hughes, Andrei Svechnikov, they all got paid. And this rolls back to the argument where back in the day, we used to see bridge deals all the time. And sometimes they are still capable today. Because when you see teams like Tampa or those really good Blackhawks teams, there were guys on bridge contracts. Because first of all, you don't have the cap space, and they're not in a prominent role yet because you still have your star players at the top, so they're not getting top tier ice time. That's not the case for Zegras. Zegras is getting top ice time, right? And they have the cap space. So to sit here and say that he should settle for a bridge deal, there's no leverage here for the Ducks. He is their best player up front, and he's playing top minutes. It's not like there's anybody ahead of him or anybody. No. This is unexcusable here by the Ducks. And we live in a world now where guys are coming out of their entry-level contracts, and if the money is there, they're going to say, yeah, I'm not going to let that salary cap money just sit there so you can spend it at the trade deadline. And inevitably for the Ducks, let's be honest, the Ducks aren't spending that money at the trade deadline. They're going to trade that for first and second round picks to bring in cashless money that doesn't help Zegras. So why is Zegras going to take a pay cut so you can make a John Klingberg type deal at the trade deadline? It's ridiculous. Why would you do that? Why would you leave money on the table for something like that? And that's not a shot at John Klingberg, but you guys understand where Zegras could be coming from in that perspective. So I think this is a really bad miscalculation here by Pat Verbeek, and he's playing with fire when he does this. And either way, this is a lose-lose, because either you just embarrass Trevor Zegras, and that's the best case scenario, and you sign him to the contract he would have signed for anyway. So now the Ducks look bad because, well, they didn't stick to their guns, right? They were, we're asking for $3 or $4 million, and he ends up signing for 7 or 8. Well, now that looks really bad on the Ducks because obviously they're showing their hand. They had no leverage, and it makes them look bad. But on the other hand, it also still makes them look bad because they just embarrassed their superstar, Trevor Zegras, with such a low ball. Guys, this is going to be an interesting situation. I'll give you guys more updates as we find out. I hope that Zegras stays in Anaheim, and same for Drysdale. But the Drysdale situation is a little different, because I think they will work things out with Drysdale, and it hasn't gone public the way the Zegras thing has. It's always been this little quiet storyline going into the fall here, but now that we have a concrete number that really was a low ball by here by the Ducks, that's where I have genuine concern. And he had 23 goals, 60 points last season. He's played in over 150 games in the NHL. This is just straight up disrespect by the Ducks. And I hope that Pat Verbeek figures it out, because he put himself in a real bind here. Either way, he's going to come out on the losing end. Listen, you get Trevor Zegras, you still win in that regard, but in every other facet, really poorly managed here. Hopefully he learns his lesson here and doesn't end up losing a player like Zegras, but really a tough look here in year 2 for Pat Verbeek and the Anaheim Ducks. So guys, that's going to do it for today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. What do you guys think of the Anaheim Ducks and Trevor Zegras? Do you think they will trade him? Do you think they'll figure it out? Let me know your guys' thoughts. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.